This is The Wheel Weaves, a Wheel of Time podcast with no spoilers. Hey everyone, I'm your host Dani, and I'm the first-time reader going through this series chapter by chapter. As always, there's no spoilers past the chapter we're covering, and that means it's totally safe for first-time readers. I'm joined by my co-host Brett, who's a longtime fan, and he's guiding me on this journey. We'd like to thank and acknowledge our executive producers, Brandy and Kirkwood, Sean McGuire, Yanis, Albert Lorenzo, LightBlindedFool, the Amyrlin Seat, and Green Man. And before we get into things today, we just want to thank and welcome Lindsay Warren to the Wheel Weaves Patreon team. And we also want to thank JLH for increasing their pledge over at patreon.com/The Wheel Weaves podcast. Thanks so much for all your generosity and support. We really appreciate it. In this episode, we're talking about Chapter 11 of the Path of Daggers.
Yeah, so Chapter 11 is Questions and an Oath.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
It's good. Well,
yes.
I like it. I don't know about you. I have questions on how you feel about things.
Mm-hmm.
Bad people doing bad things to other bad people.
Yeah.
You know?
That's about how I feel about it.
Right.
That's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I liked the switch. I like getting to sort of see what's going on. But also, I could be done with all of them. They all could be wiped off.
Right off the map.
Right
Get them
off
out of here.
the earth, and I'd be fine with all of that.
You know, and it's possible that might happen. Some way. I don't know how, but like maybe.
I mean, at some point, probably, yeah. Do I think that Savannah and Galena and Tharava are all making it to the end of the series? No. Nope. Inconsequential deaths.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. But let's get some interesting information today.
Yeah, I do like this one. There's some stuff to discuss.
And we have a lot of stuff to break down, too, because we're talking about just this one chapter.
All right, so time to go off topic. We'll see.
We'll see.
Okay, we'll see how it
I'm feeling
goes.
a little tired. I'm
Okay.
back to work
That's
this
fair.
week.
That's
and,
fair.
you know,
Here we go.
here we are.
So,
And I don't want to, I get that all people work all the time. You know, mostly.
Sure, yeah, that's...
And so I'm thankful for my time off, and I'm ready to be tired this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the shock. Okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start us off with a fun fact. And again, fun is going to be like loosey-goosey because not really.
Oh, no.
Well, it's about Savannah and her terribleness.
Okay.
And how she's slowly and kind of not so slowly turning the Shido into like actual slavers, basically. Because that's kind of what's happening. She wants to be like
100%.
this wetlander queen, and she wants to do all the things that they do and basically have everyone...
But sort of with their own customs.
Yeah, kind of, and we'll see how that, evolves. We can talk about it. But, I mean, they're not even, following their own honor system.
No, they're not. They're not even a little bit.
Yes.
Which is part of what I need to talk about later.
Yeah, and there's, a numbers thing here, so just to kind of break it down, we're going to be talking about slavery and slaves and some ratios linking it back to ancient times. So I wanted to discuss it because the ratios are kind of interesting for what RJ is doing here.
Okay.
Just go with me here.
I'm not sure I'm with you.
It's a fact. It's an educational discussion.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be fun. This one's an educational fact.
Educational fact.
Yeah. So we got in this chapter that there's currently about half as many Gaishain as there are Jumai, which is Savannah's sept.
Okay, yeah.
And then
which I do have many questions about later. Yeah.
And then there's also a 2-to-1 ratio on the brotherless to the Jumai.
Also, not fully understanding what's happening there.
Okay, so easy way to figure it out. Savannah's sept is the Jumai. Pretend they have 1,000 of them, right? There's 300 wise ones or something we get a reference to.
Yeah, because she brought them all with her.
She brought all the ones who could channel.
Yeah.
So then let's pretend she's got 1,000 Jumai of her own people that she leads individually.
Right, because she's the fake clan chief.
Exactly. The real one, come on.
Nope,
she's a real clan chief.
She's super fake.
Well,
and
it certainly bites her in the butt. We're jumping ahead. Okay. Then there would be twice as many brotherless. So there's the guys who have abandoned their septs and clans. They're kind of like the stragglers who have formed this brotherless, we don't actually have a society anymore because we're confused about the Dragon Reborn and the Kara Karn stuff.
Okay.
So there's about twice as many of them. And then there's about, let's say, if there's 1,000 Jumai, there'd be 500 Gaishain right now.
Okay.
So the ratio they have, and that's what we're going to talk about too. So we got to do a little bit of info dump on the history of slavery and relate that to these ratios here. So first off, some notes. Slavery was relatively rare in pre-civilization hunter-gatherer societies because you kind of have to have, like, mass population and an economy to have mass slavery.
Absolutely.
So, but from basically the beginning of humans forming civilizations, there's been slavery everywhere in the world, everywhere, always. But now, slavery is not currently legal anywhere in the world, in any country on Earth, in our world.
Yep.
But it's estimated that there's anywhere from 25 to 40 million slaves in the world at any given time.
Yikes.
Yeah, so kind of crazy, just had to point that out. Anyways, since basically the beginning of time, slavery forms in a few different ways, and the most common ones are things like debt slavery, punishment for crimes, prisoners of war, child abandonment, and then children born into slavery. So we actually have, like, mostly from what it seems here, the majority is going to be prisoners of war.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of the relation there. But Savannah is kind of seeing, like, the big picture. Like, all the wetlanders are so docile that we can get them all and keep them all forever because they're never going to do that.
Right.
Like,
and
they're never going to try and get away.
If we rewind a little bit...
Sure.
Aiel Gaishain would technically not... Would they be considered prisoners of war?
I mean, sort of, but not really, because it's an agreement to serve a year and a day. It's an honor system. So it's like, I captured you in battle. I'm going to serve my year and a day. You can't even mistreat me in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Because that would be so dishonorable to you that you would basically have to turn yourself over
as
Gaishain.
Even if there's a slavery agreement,
it's a little bit prisoner of... Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit because you
but
get taken
everybody's
at war.
just, like, on board with it.
Yes, because
there's a system.
There's limitations and terms and conditions apply. So, I mean, it's an honor system. And, is it the best? I don't know. Not going to pass judgment on that. Would I personally want to do that? No.
No.
But,
No, and we've said it before, and we'll say it again on the record. Don't do slavery.
Don't do it. But anyways, I wanted to compare
bad.
this.
It's so bad.
It is. Let's talk about ratios, because I want to talk and compare it to the ancient Greeks, because there's a lot of similarities with that kind of stuff that RJ likes to pull into the Wheel of Time universe. So I looked at a little bit of stuff, and the Spartans specifically were very well known for having lots of slaves in their society, and in the 8th and 7th centuries BCE, it's thought that there were at times up to 7 times the number of slaves to Spartans. So for every one Spartan, there would be 7 slaves.
Wow.
So crazy disproportionate numbers, and that led to multiple revolts, which made the Spartans restructure their city-state to basically turn into a society resembling an armed camp, which is what a lot of people imagine the Spartans as, so that they could maintain control over the slave population. Because that's the only way you can do that when you're outnumbered 7-1.
Right. Okay, so...
Yeah, and that's kind of like...
all bad.
But looking at the Aiel as a people, they are, in a lot of senses, you could imagine them as Spartans, as like incredibly warlike, very capable of, fending off mass amounts of Gaishain if they're revolted, especially if they're all wetlanders at this point, because they don't follow your honor
fight.
system.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't fight, but if there's enough of them, so... And then in some ancient Greek city-states, the average was sometimes around 30% of the population consisted of slaves. So 30%, instead of the Spartans, which were way overboard, so 30% taking that. And if my math is right, and it's probably not 100% right because it's math, I'm not great at it, but we're currently at about a 15% ratio of Gaishain to the Aiel.
To the Shido.
That are here with Savannah, because with the Jumai and then with the Brotherless... The Gaishain that Savannah's taking on, they're currently at about 15% ratio of slaves in Gaishain.
All right. Shall we move on?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So last time we were here, we had Perrin and Fail doing a bunch of stuff. Perrin is kind of the king of Gildan now.
Yes. Yeah.
Kind of. And Morghese is Fail's servant.
Yeah. And doing a bang-up job.
So that's where we are with all of that.
Good for her.
Yeah. Also, Elias is back.
Yep, he is.
And you know what I was thinking? So he's going to hang around and give Perrin a bunch of advice. And
and then leave again? That's what he did the first
time. Probably. But here's the thing. So his advice about Fail, the Saldean, accurate.
Yeah,
cool.
Good advice.
But can we just assume here for a second that everything Elias has to say might not be like the best advice for parent situation?
No, I think you should take it as good advice always.
Always.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely right about the Fael thing. Like, come on.
So if we're going statistically speaking.
And he's like super right about the wolf stuff. So, he's like 2 for 2 here.
The wolf stuff, yeah.
Tell me, name one thing he's gotten wrong so far,
Well, he also knew about the Barrelane. I was going to call her Berlin. Barrelane and Galen. I was going to join their names. He got that situation right.
I mean, maybe. Like,
but
we haven't seen Glenn
hasn't
fall
given
off
any advice.
Sure.
About that.
He was just like, be cautious.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Basically what he said was Barrelane is...
The brains.
And he's the attacker.
Yeah.
Which isn't wrong. But let's... So anyways, I'm just going to be cautiously on the lookout for that. Because it's just so easy to be caught up in, yay, Elias. But
what do we really know about this strange guy in the middle of the wilderness?
Not at this point.
Conveniently showing up. Yeah. Right?
I'm just hoping he can help Perrin embrace the wolfiness a little more. That was the biggest thing for Perrin.
I mean, there was a little breakthrough with like, wait, I can actually talk to the wolves besides just interacting to ask them for favors?
Right.
It's like, yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, because we do have Perrin being extremely concerned about becoming Wolfman.
Yes.
Like that guy.
He's looking at as in like it's either all or nothing.
Yeah.
There's no middle ground. And it's like clearly Elias has found some middle ground here.
Yeah.
In his own fashion. Like, yeah, maybe he's a little bit of a wanderer and Perrin doesn't want to be that. But like, why are those the only options here?
Yeah.
Like
that's it. Although Elias would be like, yeah, be a wanderer. It's great.
Yeah. You know who you don't have to deal with when you're wandering? People.
Yeah. People are the worst. Let me tell you. Okay. Last time was Savannah.
Yeah.
And Galena.
Yep.
They were being bamboozled by Kadar, a.k.a. Samael, with their traveling boxes and being split up everywhere.
Yeah.
So
good word for it.
That's where we were.
That was a bamboozle.
They were bamboozled for sure.
Yep.
All right, so Chapter 11 is called Questions and an Oath, and the chapter symbol is the shield and spears.
Kazail.
Kazail.
Yep.
So, we enter in a Savannah perspective, which is a fun little flip.
Here we go.
And Savannah is currently in an old stable, and it smells like blood and burned flesh because...
You want to know why? You don't want to know why it smells like that?
Because there's blood and burned flesh here?
Yep. You got it. Nailed it.
Mostly because they have no idea what they're doing when they're questioning people?
Yep.
Good thing this is a dirty Shanshan.
Yeah.
And we hate that guy.
Again, bad people doing bad things to bad people. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, that's where we're going to land this chapter.
Here we are with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's an interesting start.
Okay, so there's a man hanging from his wrists from the roof, and he's just about to die.
He's not dead yet, but then immediately
dies.
Yeah.
And they've been questioning him. And then one of the wise ones...
Yeah, so basically, we get like a whole bunch
of names.
A
lot of names that I can't keep track of.
The important thing is the wise ones who are here with her are the ones who were involved in the murder plot on the other wise one, Desane, who they blamed on the Aes Sedai to make Dumai's Wells happen.
Yeah, no, I remember that.
So all the names, they don't really matter. They're just all involved.
Okay. So this one looks over at the man and is like, well, he's dead. We probably should have left this to the maidens. We definitely killed him because of our ignorance.
We're bad at this.
We don't know what we're doing. And Savannah thinks that nobody should know what's going on right now, even though the wise ones don't normally do the questioning.
Yeah, that's a maiden's thing.
Yeah, and then we learn that this guy is one of the surviving 10 Shanshan.
Yep.
Who attacked 20 maidens.
Yeah, because they were mounted, and cavalry always thinks they're better than foot.
Well, and Shanshan also think that they're better than everybody.
True, but again, I think it's more a cavalry thing versus foot. I just like to accept that because we got the same thing from like Kyrian.
Well, for sure, but this is also from Savannah's perspective.
That's true too. We get a location too of Savannah and her crew.
Oh yeah, where are they?
Well, it's an approximation, so and looking at the map, I do want you to do that.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you look at the map, we have the mountains going down the left side.
Yeah.
Those are the mountains. Mm-hmm. And they, in this chapter, can see the mountains off in the distance. And, at least in the approximation of what they get from this guy, the man thinks his people lie 2 days west in the city called Amador. So they are like 2 days east of Amador, but within sight of the mountains. So basically, they're right around there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then the option, and that's why the option is either we go west to the Mountains of Mist and set up camp, or we go east.
Away from Amador.
Exactly. At the end of this chapter.
Yeah.
So that's where they are physically.
Gotcha. Okay, so the wise ones bicker with Savannah about whether or not they actually learned anything useful from this guy because they already knew that the Shanshan took Amador, and they don't really seem to care at all about the Shanshan at all.
Yeah, well, I mean, what interactions do they have with the Shanshan?
Yeah, except these people who didn't stand a chance.
Yeah, so there's no, like, real fear or, like, oh, man, and it's not even their land, so, like, who cares?
You know what I was thinking? You know what's going to be so great, except also not because it's bad people doing bad things to bad people.
Okay.
But when the Shido wise ones get captured by the Shanshan.
Oh my gosh.
Because there's like 300 of them, you just said.
Yeah, I think that was the number that we got.
Yeah, the Shanshan wouldn't even have like enough of them.
Oh man. Be like gold mine.
Yeah.
Plus, not Aes Sedai, so no, stupid oaths.
No stupid oaths.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Not fantastic. This is bad. This is actually a really interesting chapter, and I like this because I want you to equate Savannah to Elida and their journeys for power.
Ah, okay.
Because they both start out like heavy-handed, I'm in control, I'm the captain, and then someone comes in and is like, look at me, yeah, I'm the captain now.
I'm the captain.
It's like the exact same struggle.
Yeah, it is pretty similar, hey?
Yeah.
All right, so Savannah tries to argue her point that they shouldn't have let all of their Aiel learn too much too soon because the people are already frightened.
To Savannah's terrible plan.
Right.
Yeah.
So Savannah thinks to herself that it's disgusting that any of their people are showing any fear at all. And the other wise ones think that everyone has a right to be afraid. There's no shame in that.
Because it's a scary situation,
and the Shanshan are a large force from what they can already see. The Shido are all split up all over the place.
Yeah.
And Savannah knows that she still has a small hold over these wise ones here because of the whole murder plot thing.
Yep.
But she's losing her grip on them a little bit, and she thinks to herself at one point in this chapter, when she's walking away from them later,
Yep.
oh my god, I watched these people murder someone with the power.
Yeah.
Who's to say they won't do that again?
Which is like a really good point.
Yeah.
Like a really good... There are already people who will do that. They have that capability because you've seen it happen. So it's like they could very easily just like dispose of you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Which makes Galena's perspective interesting too, because she's like, how can this woman be so friggin' like uppity?
Well, because I do still think that they have some ingrained Aiel stuff, and she is technically the clan chief, so she does deserve some respect. But she's not very, what's the word, honorable in terms of Aiel. Like, none of them are, though. So here's the thing.
They're all like kind of like pushing their morals slowly, and then they're so far off track. This is a hard
chapter for us to talk about because I'm already uncomfortable.
Yep. It's gonna get worse before it gets worse.
Yeah, I'm already not feeling good about all the bad things happening to bad people.
I don't think
bad people.
I mean, that's just like good writing because I don't think we're supposed to feel good about this. Like we just watched them murder a guy out of ignorance when they shouldn't be really doing that anyways.
No, but he was a Shanshan.
And it's like...
But like maybe he was one of those like innocent Shanshan who...
Yeah, I mean, that opens the whole question, is how innocent is anybody in an invading force who, it's tough questions.
See, I don't want to do this anymore. I decided...
The good thing is we don't have to say it's good or bad. We just be like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep drinking my whiskey.
Yeah, I'm just going
to... okay. Pour one out for the guy, and then, whoever else gets murdered.
Right.
Right, okay.
And we thought a crown of swords...
Right?
was morally ambiguous.
Yeah, well, on the plus side, after this chapter, it's all uphill for all of our characters from here. So
you know what? That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, this is like the turning point.
And, I feel like I've said this before, but I hate that saying. Going uphill is hard.
Yeah, it's pretty hard, too.
It's very difficult to go uphill. So if everything's uphill for me, I'm like, oh my god, what a workout.
Right, yeah.
That is so difficult.
But, like, downhill also hurts my shins.
But going downhill, if you're, like, on a bike or something...
But then,
it's
out of control.
Easy and
way
fun
too fast.
Sailing. No.
Sailing over the edge of the mountain. Right? Okay.
But it's all downhill is always like, oh, things suck.
Yeah,
but
No, I get it. It's confusing.
It's a bad saying.
Yeah. It's
just
all staying in bed with a cup of coffee and watching your favorite show from here.
Right?
Right? There you go. Nailed it. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, love it.
Wow. What a lovely morning you just described.
And the grandparents have the kids.
Yeah. Are you envisioning our weekend?
I am. I know
coming?
it's happening. Yeah.
That's really funny. Okay, back to this not funny stuff.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so we have Savannah feeling that she's losing her grip on this situation.
Yeah.
So she says, well, I suspected that Kadar might try to betray us in this way. I pretty much figured he would, and I was doing this anyway, because I didn't even want to be in Kinslayer's Dagger.
I actually want to be here.
I wanted to be here.
This is where I want to be.
This is way better.
Way better.
We're in the middle of this amazing land. Look at all the good stuff we already got.
We got people, we got stuff.
So much stuff.
I think she has more jewelry now.
So much
more. So much jewelry.
So much jewelry.
You know, yeah.
And they have a whole village.
They do. Like a manor estate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A whole one of those.
And then that's when she's saying, like, hey, you can build anything out of wood when there's so many trees. Oh,
this place is great.
Perfect.
Great.
That's why people don't live in the waste.
Right. And we don't have Rand running after us, probably.
Love it.
Here we are. So then she ramps up her speech and says, we're the best ever. We're going to find those other Seps. We're going to conquer the entire world. Plus we'll find Kadar and make him die screaming.
Yeah. So this is the issue with Savannah being leader, is she's good at the big picture stuff. She's not so good at the day-to-day stuff. And I say that jokingly, but I actually say, fair. It's meaningful because she gets everyone pumped up, like, we're going to conquer the frickin' world.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, yeah, let's go do it. But then when they're like, okay, how do we do that? She's like, yeah, we're going to conquer the world.
We're just going to do it.
We're going to get him. And they're like, okay, but...
You know that weirdo stranger who showed up with a bunch of trinkets?
Yeah.
Trust him and go with it.
There you go.
Except I knew he would betray us.
Big
and
picture,
I used
not
him.
so much day to day.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. She needs a co-manager, which is going to come in.
Tharava.
Perfect.
Tharava's
Jimbo.
Perfect. Okay, so the other wise ones are like, okay, Savannah, cool, we'll get the whole world, but like, what's happening? Are you still planning on marrying the Karakarn?
Yep.
She's like, oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he'll be mine.
Yeah, yep.
He'll be mine somehow, someday.
Yep.
Sure.
But also, it doesn't matter.
And then she changes the subject. She doesn't want to talk about that anymore.
Yeah.
So she starts walking out of the stable, and she starts thinking about how she's alone with these women, and they can kill her.
Yeah.
But when she gets out of the stable, she tells the maidens outside to bury that body in there and hide the grave, and then they head inside to take care of that.
Yeah, we get the name Ethalin, the leader of all the Shido maidens.
Oh, okay.
The Shido maidens, not Jumai. She's not Jumai.
I don't understand.
The maidens are a society.
Am I ever going to understand this?
I mean, I hope so. The maidens are a society.
Yeah.
They're not a clan, they're not a sept, they're all basically the women, and all the men can join other warrior sites.
I know that.
Ethalin is the leader of the maidens.
I know what maidens are.
For the Shido.
And what's the difference between Jumai and Shido?
Shido is like big picture, it's the clan, it's like all the people, and then the Jumai are a sept, like a smaller, not family, but like a family. Like they're not all related, but it's like they belong to one sept.
Okay. And all of the wise ones that she has right now are all Shido wise ones.
Yeah.
But they're not all from Jumai.
Correct.
And they're all missing their septs.
Yes.
That's why they're like, where are our people?
Kind of annoyed about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she took all the wise one channel, because maybe she did actually believe Kadar was going to betray her, and she thinks that because she did take all the channelers.
Just in case. It's like, was an assurance policy.
And she took 10 times more of the brotherless than as any other group got.
Okay, now explain to me now, or do you want to wait till we get to that point?
Let's wait till we get there.
Okay.
I'll explain the brotherless.
Okay.
But there's a lot of brotherless because she doesn't care about them.
Yeah.
They can die. She just wants lots of spears in case.
Protection.
Yeah. She's kind of a dick.
Yeah, but she planned.
For herself.
Of course.
Just for herself.
Oh, yeah, of course.
That makes her a dick.
I know.
Okay, yeah, okay.
As long as she's organized.
Yeah.
She's an organized dick.
Yeah, she's an organized, selfish dick.
Sure.
It works.
Mm-hmm.
You can be all those things.
Okay. Feel good episode.
Yeah, it's a good one. I like it.
Okay, so the wise ones finally come out of the stable. They're all arguing with each other about the Shanshan and Kadar and Rand and where the other Aiel are, and like they all usually do. And then Savannah takes a few moments to look around at her surroundings, And we get that there are a whole lot of dark clouds over in the sky.
Yeah. Yep. It's happening. It's happening, guys.
All the Aiel are down in their camp going about their daily work because they've taken over the Matter House. They have all these buildings. They have a smithy and a other place for doing stuff and another place for doing stuff.
You're nailing it, yeah. It's a bunch of wetland. They're kind of like converting to wetlander people.
Yeah, and Savannah loves all this wetlander stuff, and they've started taking wetlanders on his guy Shine because they're so easy to just be like, don't kill me, I'll serve you. Yeah,
and she like looks at the lord of the manor who was the lord and his family, and they're all like serving her now, so.
Do you think that they look at it as now they're just like servants?
Probably in a fashion.
Yeah.
Servant / slave, like as
because obviously they're not getting paid, but it's like you're not killing me and you're not like destroying everything and everyone.
Yeah, but it's like you now own me, so I mean, and they don't know the Aiel. Like, what are these people in the middle like of nowhere?
Yeah.
Like in possibly maybe Amadicia-ish.
Yeah.
Like we're not exactly sure where they are, but
yeah.
Like, like what do these people know about the Aiel? Like nothing.
Yeah.
Except they just got conquered real hard.
Stuff, yeah.
Especially with the Shanshan who are like right nearby, and like they probably can't tell the difference.
Well, okay, so here we go. Last time we were with Perrin and Fael, and we learned that there were Shido raiding villages. So do we think that this is them, and we're actually in Gildan, probably closer to where they are?
I mean, it could be, but we also know Kadar dropped them, and I'm saying Kadar, but like Samael dropped them all over the place. Tons of them, all over the place. Still think it's a good idea?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yes, I do.
You gotta stick with it. Okay.
Yeah. Well, think about how much damage Savannah could actually be doing if she had everybody.
I mean, if there's everywhere and the Shanshan are trying to roll them, they have to deal with the Shido. That's true. They could be like, put one bad guy against another bad guy.
Yeah.
Right? They clearly just had a little skirmish. They might be running into each other more often. Yep. I'm trying to argue in your favor at this point.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just thinking about all of this stuff.
Yeah.
All of these other plot points that I haven't thought about in a long, long time.
Yep.
So
that's how they get you.
There's that.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, Savannah hears the other wise ones come up behind her, and they're talking about how many Aes Sedai fight for the Shanshan.
This is going to be bad.
Some of them don't think it actually matters because they won't fight unless they attack them because they sort of know about Aes Sedai oaths.
Yep.
Right?
But the issue is they're like, how many Aes Sedai fight for the Shanshan? And like maybe a couple at this point who've been captured.
Yeah.
But are they actually talking about the Damani?
Yes. Yeah, that's what they're talking about.
Which is a problem because the next thing they're talking about is like, hey, you know, if we don't fight them, they won't attack us. So if they go into battle with the Shanshan thinking, oh, as long as we don't attack the Aes Sedai, in quotations, who are actually Damani, they won't attack us, they're going to get slaughtered.
Oh, yeah.
Because Damani will. They will fight.
They absolutely will, and then they're going to capture all of you.
Yes.
But you know who they won't really capture or care about?
Who?
Savannah.
Oh, yeah.
Because she can't channel.
Oh, man. Yeah, you're right. You're not wrong. Yeah, that's true. Oh, man. Okay. Yeah, so it's like bad, like wrong information it seems like they're acting on. Because it kind of sounds like they're under the assumption that it's all Aes Sedai who fight for the Shanshan.
Okay,
somehow.
have they already fought some of the Shanshan? Like, more than just those 10 maidens?
Not that we know
about.
So
then what is the, 23 wise ones died? What?
They're talking about Dumai's Wells.
Oh, they're still talking about that.
Yeah.
I thought we were on to new battles.
No, we're still lingering on what happened 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Shoot.
And that's the issue is they're like, hey, when the Aes Sedai did attack us, like when they actually did start fighting, 23 of us died, and 10,000 Aiel are just gone and missing or dead.
Yeah.
But then Savannah jumps in and she's like, that wasn't the Aes Sedai. That didn't happen till Rand got involved. So it's his fault.
Rand. It's his fault.
So it's not even. So don't even worry about the Aes Sedai.
Plus, we had the Aes Sedai beaten until Rand stepped in.
We were basically
winning. We were winning.
Which, I mean, kind of true.
Well,
I mean, they weren't losing.
No, that's true. Those Aes Sedai in the capture Rand plot were not prepared for a Shido attack.
No.
So,
who's to say who would actually have won that at the end of it? But, there's a lot of factors that led into, the parent showing up and then Rand escaping and then the Ashaman obviously showing up. So, who's to say? But Savannah just is blaming it on Rand and
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad information that's going to get a lot of people probably killed or captured.
Fair. Okay. So now this conversation is interrupted by an Aiel man coming up because he's been sent to ask for judgment because he's one of the brotherless.
Yeah.
And I wrote in my notes here, lost and confused.
Okay.
Help.
Here we go. The brotherless are one of the men, Aiel, who have abandoned their clan and sept and come to the Shido rather than follow Rand because they're confused about who he is and the Kara Karn situation.
So these are ones who don't have their septs and clans anymore.
They abandoned their clan and sept.
And they don't want to follow Rand, and the Shido were not following Rand.
And they're like, that's where they can go. So you know how Rand's people have the Saswayamon, the Spears of the Dragon? Who wear the headbands with the Aes Sedai?
Which I still don't really know very much about.
Those are guys who are maybe a little bit confused, and they're like, I don't know where I belong.
But I'm fighting for Rand.
I'm fighting for Rand. I'm a Spear of the Dragon. That's what I do. None of the maidens are, because the maidens are super tight-knit and stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Because they feel a little bit different about Rand.
It's the whole thing.
So the Saswayamon are, and maybe some people might not like the exact comparison, but the Saswayamon are kind of like Rand's guys who are collectively a little bit lost.
Yeah.
And the brotherless are the ones who are like a little bit lost and confused, but don't want to follow Rand. So the Shido are really the only place they can go. So they've kind of formed their new group called the Muradin.
Brotherless.
The brotherless.
The what?
Muradin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They all have like their names. Like Vardaris Mai is the maidens of the Spear.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Right? Okay. Mm-hmm. So you typically belong to a clan, a sept, and a warrior society.
Right.
And then you would usually have like your hold where you like live. Right? But these guys abandon all that, and they're like, we're going to form our new club called the Brotherless. We're going to hang out here.
Here we are.
Yeah.
And now this guy needs some judgment because he did something?
So when you conquer a place, you take the fifth.
Yes.
A fifth of the stuff.
Yep.
And Savannah's dumb Jumai
took everything.
They're saying you can't have your full portion because there's more of you than there are of us. And if we let you have a fifth too, you're going to have more stuff than us. Because there's more of the brotherless than there are Jumai.
Oh.
They're kind of not playing by the rules
Nobody
of like spoils
of
war.
Nobody is, okay.
And that's the issue. So he's here and he's like, hey, make a judgment.
How do they decide, hey? They pile up all the Jubals in the middle and, like, count them out and then, like, literally take
bunch of people
20 out of 100.
They got their glasses and their scales and they can't, and I'm just like, I don't know, honor system of taking a fifth of the stuff in your house. They would take, try to divvy up our couch. Two pillows, one pillow and two cushions. I don't know. Leave the rest.
That would make for a terrible couch left for us. Okay.
Take the washer, but leave the dryer.
Well, that's half. That's not a fifth.
Oh, no. Okay.
I like...
It's hard. I don't know. Yeah.
But they just, like, eyeball it?
Yeah, it's never really, clearly defined on how that actually goes down.
But it sounds here like they're legitimately counting objects.
Possibly.
And, like, divvying them out.
You know what? And it's the Aiel, so
like
they might look at...
20 per 100.
Yeah. You can have 7 shot glasses.
Oh, you're looking at our wall of our...
Yeah, it's like, what do we consider valuable? You get a fifth of it. 1 in 5 valuable objects you can take, and then we want our share. But then they're like, there's more of you than us, so no, you can't have your share.
That's not fair.
And that's what he's saying. He's like, hey, I want judgment. Can I have my share?
Nope. They said nope.
Yes. And that's where Savannah...
is like, I don't care.
But she does care. But that's the thing.
Oh, she does?
She does.
I thought she doesn't.
So a little bit...
I think the difference is I don't care.
Which is fair. So it's just for, like, Savannah's tactics here, which is why it also comes around to kind of bite her in the butt more.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then what happens here?
Okay. So Savannah tries to play the card, and she's like, oh, I don't actually care about this, and it wouldn't be fair if I... weigh in on this because
I'm biased.
I'm biased because the Jumai are my sept, so I'm going to excuse myself. And then they kind of look at her like, oh, okay. But then before she goes, she turns and she says, hey, I'm sure they're going to come, these other wise ones who are going to judge are going to come to a favorable decision for you.
Yeah,
brotherless
in favor
guy,
of the brotherless?
In favor of you.
And then the wise ones glare at her. I got that point.
Because she's
I didn't know what was happening.
She's not sticking her nose in, but she's sticking her nose in.
Right.
And she wants to do that because the Jumai
She wants to sneak away here, too.
She does want to sneak away. That's like the third part of what she's doing. She already has the loyalty of the Jumai because they're her sept, and she's trying to build credibility with the Brotherless by saying, I'm sure you're going to get your fair share because that's what I would do if I was going to judge, but I'm not going to judge.
Can't, And then she also puts the other wise ones to a task so she can sneak away to do something sneaky.
Exactly, which is why they're also more pissed. So we kind of see this decline of Savannah's power this entire chapter where we've seen her in control, and then it's like she keeps doing the wrong things and pissing everyone off, which is why she lands herself at the very end of this in not the best situation.
I think she's still in an okay situation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
For now. Okay, so Savannah heads back into the trees to, quote, go check on something much more important than this.
And more important than the Brotherless, because, again, they're just spears that can die.
Yeah.
Because they're not her people. That's why she brought a lot of them.
Right. So she checks for what is tucked in her skirts, even though she knows it's there. And once she maybe uses it today, nobody's going to stand in her way.
Yeah. Because we know what that is.
It's the Oath Rod.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Which turns out is an Oath Rod.
I love it.
I am wrong.
Yeah. Did you not really think it was an Oath Rod?
I did.
Because you thought it was fake.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
Let's get
there. Let's get there. Because we get some really good information, too. But it's also kind of interesting because it's implied that Savannah thinks that the Oath Rod might actually work on Rand.
Okay, we're jumping ahead.
No, we're not, because she thinks it here.
She
thinks it here because she's like, hey, Kadar lied about some stuff. Maybe he lied about other stuff. And then maybe, like, I can get Rand with this, too.
Okay.
So it's like she thinks that it's possible if Kadar lied about everything that he lied about the Oath Rod not working on Rand. Because, I keep calling him Kadar, but, Samael said, hey, I got the other special thing that'll definitely work on Rand, but you gotta wait till you get him.
Right.
So.
Okay.
All
right, let's take a quick break and then come back and get into that.
Yeah, yep, for Galena.
All right, so here we are back to perspective change into Galena.
Yeah.
So, she's having a bad time.
She's her favorite Black Aja, I think.
No.
Okay.
My favorite Black Aja is Germalfin or something like that. The cat lady. The one who likes the cats.
The cat lady. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's her name?
Jamalfin. Yeah, something like that.
It's something weird.
Yeah. No, I get it. Cat lady.
Yeah.
You relate to her.
And I also kind of like Alviarin.
Okay, yeah. Yep.
I think that she's pretty competent, and I like that.
Yeah, Galena is in a bad spot. So
she certainly is. Having a real bad time. She is glaring at the wise ones, who are holding her shield right now.
Singular. One wise one is holding her.
One wise one. Okay, is there holding her shield. Belinda.
Yep.
Of course.
Yep.
How could I forget?
Right?
Belinda. Anyway, so Galena is wishing that she had crushed the wise one's skull rather than just slapping her.
And that's where we find out why she's in this predicament.
And I wish that I got to see the scene that led to Galena slapping a wise one.
Oh, I know.
That's the scene I want. Like, yeah, this is fine, but it's all just talking. You know?
We could have seen the lead up and then just like, then this is going to be bad, and then, skip the torture scene. It's okay.
It could have been like a couple paragraphs at the beginning, perspective change to Savannah, and then perspective change back, and now she's in this situation. Something like that. Like, give me a little bit of action.
I get it.
I like that interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she's in this predicament. She has rags stuffed in her mouth to silence her sobbing. She's in a leather sack with her head sticking out of it, and her fingers are tied to her big toes. She's suspended from a tree directly over some hot coals, creating this like slow burn. And they also added some fine powder all over her body, which when she sweats starts to burn her skin.
Yes.
So, Now, her whole body's coated in that. She's naked in this sack. She also thinks to herself that she doesn't know how long it's been that she's been in a black robe.
Yeah, like
so that means
she's
like the Dat sang whatever, which we know. But yeah.
So anyways, it's a bad time. It's a predicament. But Galena is like one of the worst Black Aja that we know of. And we actually know of the bad things that she's done.
Yeah.
Like, she's really bad. She's a really bad person.
Yep.
And that leads to the question, is it bad people doing bad things to bad people? Is it okay? I don't know.
Well, is it okay if good people do bad things to bad people?
That might be worse.
Is any of this okay?
I don't know, but I don't feel sorry for Galena. I'm just going to go ahead and just keep on doing what I'm doing. So, you know,
it's okay.
we're just not worrying about it. Sorry, Galena.
I'm like banging my cup on my head. I just can't with this chapter. With all of this.
I know.
It's you know what's interesting is reading through it, I was like, yeesh. And then you finish the chapter and you're like, all right.
Yeah.
And then, you know.
Normally you could just keep reading and not think about it.
And then you just keep reading and you're like, ugh.
Now we got to talk about that for an hour.
Well, and not only that, I had to sit and like write about it.
Yep.
And I was like, ugh, none of this is good.
How do I describe this?
And then now, talking about it out loud, like more and more and more,
got to relive it a couple of times.
I'm just like having
but don't worry, she's going to make them pay in rivers of blood. No, oceans of blood. Good.
I like when she later thinks that she's going to cook someone. She's going to cook Belinda.
Yep.
That's how she's going to get Belinda back. She's going to roast her over a spit.
And I'm going to need a prediction. Is
she gonna roast Belinda over a spit?
Because clearly that's how you die.
She's gonna die.
Oh, Galena's okay.
Yeah, Galena.
She's not getting out of this.
Nobody's surviving here.
She's not getting out of this.
There's no revenge for the terrible Black Aja.
You don't want like a good redemption arc,
if
and then
anything,
she turns back to the light?
Actually, here's what I want.
Okay.
Rand to get hold of Galena. Because that's the one he wanted.
And cook her?
Well, yeah.
Maybe.
No, hang her.
There you go.
Some, like, just... I don't know why hanging is, like, better than...
Is that better? Yeah, I don't
know. But just some form of, like, I want Rand...
I don't know if I want to be cooked or hanged, but I'm not dying in the ocean.
I just want Rand to have some sort of, like, feeling of justice.
Sure.
In a way.
Yeah, because that was his whole thing.
Like, if we're talking about in the context of this book series,
Rand really
for
wanted
our
to find
characters,
her. He did.
I kind of wanted that for Rand.
Yeah. Or even to, like, know that she got, like,
The problem is, I am concerned that Galena is going to be set free via Dark Friend Network.
I do have to say that, okay, here's a fun, interesting bit.
Yeah.
Melindra. Remember Melindra?
Yeah, Matt's.
Yep.
Yeah, Matt's.
She was
lady.
Jumai.
Yeah, she was a Shido. Yeah.
Jumai, Savannah Sept.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Shido and Jumai.
Ooh.
She was both.
Double whammy.
So I'm just thinking, it's like,
how many other Dark Friends?
Dark Friend, like Aiel, would they be more susceptible to coming over to the Shido? Because, like, that's where you can kind of be evil, apparently, you know?
It's the Slytherins.
Right?
Nice.
Okay, that's where they congregate. Because
this isn't the first time we've made that reference, by the way.
No,
the Shido are the Slytherins.
They are, yeah. They're like the bad guys, basically.
They're the bad guys of the Aiel.
Even Ruark, who's like noble Ruark, is like, those
and
sneaking
racist
dogs. Like,
yeah, they are.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, I'll take a shot.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that didn't really answer the question of, like, are they more susceptible, but...
No, but what I was... You kind of went off of what I was saying is...
Sure.
It's completely possible because Katarina, right?
Yep.
That was her name. She was set free.
Yep.
From the Aiel camp.
Yep.
So it's completely possible that Galena at some point also will be set free. Not by Elida, who was like, we have to save them. But potentially someone else who wants her free.
Right. Okay, I like it.
Which... I don't know if I'm on board with... It'll be like that's a thing that happened.
Okay.
And on that note...
Yeah.
Just a minute here. Okay, kind of weak reference. It's been a while.
Yeah.
And good news, though, we have new shot classes.
We do.
We just went on a little family road trip. We went to Drumheller.
Yeah.
Which is in Alberta.
World famous for dinosaurs. Royal Tyrrell Museum.
Yes.
Yeah, look it up.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with our family.
Yeah, it was good.
My shot class is from Fossil World.
Yes.
Which I had to endure alone with the 4-year-old. It was fine. We had fun. And
Yeah.
we collected some fossils.
It kind of looks like the Jurassic Park logo a little bit.
Yeah,
though,
they stole it a little bit. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yours is cool, though.
This is a cool
I picked
one.
this one out. I was concerned because we've been to the Royal Trail Museum before.
Yeah.
2 years ago, in fact, when we were doing our podcast.
Yeah.
And I picked up a shot glass when we were there 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my goodness, what if I pick the same one? Because I don't know which one is sitting in our cupboard. It's different and better.
Yeah, so this one is the Royal Tyrrell Museum one, and it's got the picture, and I looked it up, and it's a juvenile Gorgosaurus skeleton, and it's a rare example of an articulated specimen where the bones are found arranged as they were in life. So it's got like the back-leaning head. Like when you think of a dinosaur skeleton, it's really cool.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Ooh.
You know, it's almost as ancient as...
This bubblegum vodka?
Yeah, I was going to say. The bubblegum vodka. Years. Years and years.
Years old.
Yep.
That vodka's older than our son.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Got a long time ago, that case of bubblegum vodka.
Yeah. It's almost gone.
An oldie but a goodie. I'm glad we brought that one back. Okay, here we go.
Let's get back into it.
Galena, in a tree, from a sack, over coals.
Yes.
Here we go. Savannah arrives. Enter Savannah.
Yes. On
She
sneaky
starts
mission.
mocking Galena for her whining and sniveling. And then Belinda, the wise one, starts talking about how she always finds the toughest old ewe is made tender if cooked slowly with the right herbs. And she thinks this is so funny. And this is
She's
where
like literally
Belinda
cooking her.
decides that she is going to cook Belinda over a fire as her punishment when she is free.
There you go.
And I was thinking, even if she gets free, she's not going to get to go back.
Yeah, and like what circumstance are you going to be able to capture her?
No, I think it's the only thing really keeping her...
Yeah, she's holding on to
going?
something because she's like literally being tortured
Yeah.
by being put in a sack and like cooked basically with herbs.
Yeah.
Like that is happening, which is why she starts freaking out.
Well, when Rand was captured,
Yeah.
what kept him going was thinking of how to get free. Like, he wasn't continually thinking about the people he was gonna hurt.
Yeah.
He was just like, I'm waiting for my moment. This is how I'm gonna get free. I'm gonna do it.
I mean, maybe a little bit of vengeance, crept in there, but
Maybe
a little bit.
Maybe a touch. But
He was pretty sure he wanted to find Galena after. So.
relatively fitting, considering she was the one who captured Rand and tortured him, and now she is captured and being tortured. So if the chain continues, that means Savannah is gonna also be captured and tortured.
Oh, okay. Savannah is too. Yeah, okay.
Why not?
Yeah, get them all. Let's do it.
Yep.
Anyways, the cooking thing, that's why Galena starts freaking out when they start lowering her, because she's like, oh my god, are they going to actually cook me?
Yeah.
Because, like, maybe.
Yeah, but then she just gets dropped to the ground.
Yeah, they move the coals.
Savannah mocks her a bit more and then tells her, you can stop being dead saying, maybe not even Gashine, if you will swear to obey me in all things.
Yeah, yeah.
And immediately Glenna's like, yep, I'll do it.
Yeah, well, she also thinks, like, was this all for that? Because, like, I would have sworn that immediately.
Yes.
Like, day one, absolutely no problem.
Yeah, and she's like, that's easy to get out of.
Yeah.
Right? She's already thinking, like, of course I'll swear. And then, like,
sure,
there are ways to weasel out of
because she's
oaths, I've said.
Well, that's the thing. She's not an Aes Sedai tied to the 3 oaths.
Aha, that's
but
right.
Savannah might think that she is.
Yeah.
So she is, but that's why the whole dropping of the oath rod on the ground is like a big deal.
Then you won't object to swearing the oath on this. And Galena looks up and sees the oath rod.
Yeah.
And now Galena has a lot of information about this rod, exactly how it looks, down to the ancient numerical number symbols.
We gotta get this on the record.
Okay.
This is really good.
Because here's the deal. I really thought that maybe this was a fakey fake.
Okay. Yeah, I know. Yep.
Or maybe potentially something that did something slightly different.
Yep. It is not that.
Because, I mean, we have Dream Terangrial that were like for beginners that
Sure.
didn't quite do exactly what it should. In
Yeah.
the same fashion.
Okay.
So, like, maybe it was something like that.
Yep.
Or maybe it just was, like, literally a rock
Yep.
thing.
This seems like it is actually an oath rod
Right.
because of the information that Galena has.
I was wrong.
Here we go. So the number one tip-off, first off, she thinks that, wait a second, is this the oath rod stolen from the tower?
Yeah.
Because it's basically identical. Then she sees the markings on the end of it, and the numerals used in the Age of Legends, and this one has a 111. And it's very cool because the one in the White Tower
has a 3.
Has the 3, and some people think it's for the 3 oaths, but clearly it's not that.
No, it's just all of them just have numbers.
Which kind of makes sense because we know that they were used to bind criminals, so it makes sense that they were numbered probably for like districts or whatever.
Yeah.
So the real question is going to become, do you need a specific numbered rod to release you from the oaths that you take? Because Galena thinks in this chapter, like, hey, if there's an oath rod, then I can use that to remove the oaths.
Yeah.
So you can give oaths and you can remove oaths with the oath rod.
Interesting.
But the question is, do you need the same numbered one?
That
because
is
the
the
Aes Sedai only have the one.
They only have the one.
Now there's a second one in play.
Now there's
here.
a second one.
Okay. So there we go.
There we go.
Yep.
Gut check. Yes, you need the same one.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
That's my prediction.
All right.
For fun.
I like it. Well, it's either yay or nay. So
exactly. Yep. Nope. But gut check says yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So now, before Galena can actually do anything, Tharava appears. And now this is the wise one who has been countering Savannah from the beginning.
Yep.
Questioning her.
Strong channeler, too.
Strong channeler. And she has been in charge, basically, of Galena.
Yeah.
And her torture.
Yeah.
From what we saw back in Kinslayer's Dagger 2, right?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so Tharava appears with a dozen other wise ones and starts talking, and she's not happy with Savannah pulling a fast one there with the oath rod.
Yeah, it seems like these are a bunch of the ones
and sneaking away to be sneaky sneaks.
Yeah, these are all the ones that she snuck away from, too, that are, like, they've come back, so.
Okay, now, Galena is watching Savannah stare around all angrily at everyone, and she doesn't understand how Savannah can be so confident when she can't channel at all.
Yeah.
And she thinks to herself, a lot of these wise ones are not insignificant.
And it's like they're actually stronger than you.
Yes. and Galena starts thinking about how she has to start thinking of them as actual channelers.
Yeah.
So that she can have a grasp on what's happening.
Come on, like start.
Of course, duh.
Get there faster.
Yeah. Now, Savannah is not happy that the wise ones she left behind to deal with the brotherless are here.
Yeah, they're supposed to be occupied.
Because they were supposed to be occupied.
Yeah, like, what are you doing? Get back there.
And then Tharava steps up and grabs Galena by the hair. And Galena's just terrified of her. And Tharava says, if you want her broken, Savannah, let me have her. Once I'm done with her, you won't need that to make her obey.
Yeah, the Kadar's toys and trinkets and stuff. Like, we don't need that stuff.
We don't need that garbage.
And just for the record, Galena is absolutely terrified of Tharava. Like, super powerful, Black Aja, I'm the best.
Yes.
She is terrified.
Terrified. And Tharava is
she's a mean person.
She's a wise one, Aiel.
Yeah.
But and when we think of we think of Amis, we think of,
there's a lot of wise ones, and not all wise ones are the same.
No.
Right? So, I mean, hey, there's,
No, she's terrible.
Very different.
She's terrible. Terrible.
Yes.
How many of them are Black Aja? That's what I want to start.
Like Dark Friends.
Out. Dark Friends.
Like the wise ones?
Yeah. Yeah, what would wise one Dark Friends be called?
Shadowrunners, maybe.
Well, no, that's what any of them are called. That's what Dark Friends are called. But specifically...
What would they call, like themselves?
Because they can channel that they get a different name.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it wouldn't just be a Dreadlord or whatever, right?
I mean, okay, well...
Because the Black Aja specifically get Black Aja because they're Aes Sedai and Dark Friends.
Of, like, a different Aja. Like, that's the thing about that, is, like, they belong to a secret Aja.
Yeah.
The Black Aja.
That they created themselves?
Well, no, Ishamael basically created the Black Aja.
Okay.
He initiated it.
So then there would probably be a secret society of Aiel Dark Friends.
Yeah.
Specifically
quite
ones
possibly.
who can channel too. Because
what would their cool
channeling
name be?
Dark Friends would be better than...
Yeah, they need an alliance name. A secret alliance name.
Secret alliance name.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Don't go into Big Brother without at least 3 alliance names.
At least 3 options. You need multiple options.
Yes. You think they're coming up with those?
On the spot? No
on the
way.
Spot? No, they've been
way.
thinking about those...
Forever.
Come
on.
Anyway, I don't know. We'll have to think on it. We should do a poll.
Okay. Secret... Secret Society Wise One. Dark Friend name.
Society.
Name. Yeah.
Is called blank.
Yeah.
Best name wins.
Okay.
And we'll announce it in a few episodes.
Perfect.
Okay.
Unofficial competition to whoever listens to this.
Okay. Write it down so you remember.
Yeah.
All right. So Galena's brain hears that these wise ones are saying something about whether or not this binder will work any better than the traveling box.
Yeah.
And she thinks, maybe if I can get this traveling box terangrial, it will help me to travel.
Oh, man. She's like super wishful
then I
thinking,
can escape.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, and then as soon as Tharava's grip on her hair loosens, Galena throws her body on the rod on the ground because obeying Savannah will be way better than being handed over to Tharava.
And this backfires terribly.
And Tharava isn't letting this go down the way Savannah wants it to, because she says if Galena is going to swear to obey, then it should be to all of us.
Yes.
Except in the end, it's just Savannah and Tharava, and not all of them.
No, it's all of them.
Oh, is it?
But Savannah and Tharava above everybody else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, is that it? Okay.
Yep.
So Savannah says, fine, but me first. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm Wise One and Clan Chief, and then, no, Tharava. Oh, they go back and forth.
Yeah.
You and me first.
You and me first. Tharava, Savannah first, then everybody else.
Okay, so Galena says the oath, holding the oath rod. Here we go. And then we get that the oath rod, or the oath, settles tightly on her skin.
Yes.
And now, if this oath rod presumably works the same as the oath rod in the tower...
Probably does if they're numbered.
Right.
Yep.
If your skin is tightening...
Yep.
That's probably contributing to an ageless look.
Boom.
Which is the missing puzzle piece to this entire puzzle.
Yeah, we solved it.
It was under the couch, and the cat chewed it up.
There we go.
And we shoved it in.
Yeah, so it is...
Puzzle.
Taking an oath on the oath rod is literally like a physical. It settles on you, tightens your skin, and then obviously with, Aes Sedai, they do 3 of them. So...
Oh, is it the morals you take, the more it settles on you, I guess?
I mean, possibly. Like, it's not just one, like you do it 3 times. But that's also interesting to note that we know that the Black Aja, they clearly remove the 3 oaths, which is like, okay, so if you take away those 3 oaths, but then they re-swear 3 oaths.
Yeah.
We do know that. We don't know what they are.
Okay, and then does that mean that... In the Black Aja, they use the oath rod?
That's what it sounds like. What else are you going
to
use?
Like the White Tower oath rod?
Well, they have access to it.
How would they... Oh, so...
They're Aes Sedai.
Okay, and Galena... Yeah. Okay. So Galena specifically knows that the oath rod...
Can remove oaths. If you can get an oath rod, you can remove said oaths.
So secretly... Yep. They're using the White Tower oath rod again... to remove it, and it's not some, mystical dark one thing happening?
You take the oaths off, and then you re-swear the new oaths.
What?
Alviarin
I didn't even put that together till right now.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is, they have access to the oath rod. It's not, magically locked. It's, maybe a little bit guarded.
I bet it's a little bit, locked away. A little bit. They don't want just, novices, busting in and running around with it.
We've seen the storerooms where the terangrial are kept.
Yeah.
And what was their defense system when friggin' Alviarin and Padden Fane... It
was a lock.
And then one person came to check, which was Alviarin, to check on who was breaking in. Well, no,
there was, a novice or something. There was someone that was killed.
Yeah, Padden Fane killed the one person, but, that's the thing, is any Aes Sedai could be go away now. Or any
Black Aja, you mean.
Yeah, anybody.
Yeah.
Anybody, because they are just Aes Sedai in the tower with full access to all the things. So it's just you take the oath rod, you unswear, you re-swear. Boom, there you go.
That's so crazy. That's so
We need to figure out what the heck are the 3 Black Aja oaths. What are they? Be evil.
You gotta swear to obey the Dark One.
Cool.
Gotta do the things your superiors tell you to do.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
In hierarchy order.
They do. Okay, that seems to be a thing. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And don't talk about Black Aja.
Nice. That's actually the first. That's the
first rule.
That's the first one.
Yes. Nice.
If the opportunity presents itself to be a dick, you must do that thing.
You must do that.
Yeah, there you go. Figured it out.
Probably one of them is keep it secret, keep it safe.
Oh, no!
I just have all these sayings in my head. I don't know where they come from.
Yeah.
I just quoted.
Yeah.
Not Kill Bill. What is it? Fight Club.
Yeah.
And we don't have to do a shot for that.
It's all relevant.
It's all pop culture.
Those are the self-imposed rules that we make for ourselves on this podcast that is ours.
Okay, just a tiny shot, though.
Sure.
Just a tiny one.
Yeah. Self-imposed rules.
Can I just go back and delete that I said that?
You can't.
Shoot.
It's breaking the rules.
Shoot.
Yeah.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
That is Lord of the Rings, right? That's why we did that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Now, that's done. Thorava wants to test to see if this really worked.
Yeah.
So.
That's fair.
She asks Galina, have you planned violence against any wise one here? And just so you know, the penalty for that is to be killed like an animal.
Yep. There you go.
And Galina can't help but admit that, yes, she did plan violence against all of them.
Yeah, it works.
It seems like the Oath Rod worked.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like she's getting punished.
No, that was just a scary tactic.
Yeah, it was a
test.
And
so Thorava picks up the Oath Rod and tucks it behind her belt and tells Galina that she can wear white as a meek Geshine for now. And gives her some instructions on what that means and orders her not to touch Sidar or Channel unless she's told to.
There we go.
And they release the shield on Galina. But Savannah does not like that Thorava just took the Oath Rod and says...
That's her Oath Rod.
Literally, the words are, that's mine, give it to me.
Yeah, she does.
That's what's written in the book.
Yeah.
That's something I would write in my notes. Hey, that's mine, give it.
Yeah.
Gimme. Right? But it's literally...
That's Savannah's character. There you go.
That's how it's written. And Thorava's like... No. You can't have it. I want it.
This is literally Alviarin coming to Alida and saying, you're not the captain anymore.
Literally.
That's what's happening.
Literally. Here. Okay. Yep. So, Thorava stares at her and says, there have been meetings among the wise ones, and we've come to some decisions.
Yeah.
And Savannah's like, meetings? Without me?
I'm supposed to be in all meetings.
Gasp.
Yeah.
I can't believe this. How dare you? But the other wise ones around, some are averting their eyes.
Yeah.
And some are sort of speaking up. And they are like, hey, listen, you tell us all the time you speak as the clan chief. And sometimes wise ones have to have meetings without the clan chiefs.
Yeah. So Savannah's literal undoing here is she was trying to grasp at too much power
Too much power.
By being clan chief and wise one. She's not satisfied, and now they found a big old loophole.
Yeah.
To be fine, you want to be clan chief,
and you know
be
what?
Clan chief.
Here's the real problem, is that she didn't get to marry Rand.
When
she had the one chance, she didn't shake her boobs enough. In his face.
She didn't.
While he was... captured.
That's true.
And being tortured.
That's true.
So more boobs in his face, maybe.
Could have been a different story.
Could have been a different story for her. But here's the thing: she's going downhill fast.
Yep.
Thorava says, "We have decided that just as a clan chief, you must have a wise one advisor, just like other clan chiefs do."
Yep. And guess
you need one.
Guess who's that's gonna be?
Me.
Here we go. It's Thorava.
This guy.
Manager and co-manager. Co-manager and
I
co-manager.
will advise you.
There we go.
And now Galina still doesn't understand how Savannah can even stand up to these Wise One channelers. But Savannah says, so what advice do you have for me then? And Thorava says, listen, the Shanchin are close. We should move north to the Mountains of Mist and establish a hold, and then go searching for the other Seps to reunite the Shido.
Yeah, it's a good plan.
It's an all-right plan, except that the Mountains of Mist are particularly isolated, and there's a big old wide world that the Shido have been dispersed to.
But it's safe, and then they can branch out from there, and then meet back.
And word and stuff.
Yeah, and it's they can spread word and be okay, go back. That's the new meeting spot. That's where we live now.
I don't think it's a bad plan. Perhaps.
Well, Savannah's plan is okay, actually, let's go east the other way.
Keep raiding everybody.
Keep raiding everyone. Because that's also
the lands are already in turmoil. And we can take advantage of the situation, and then it's agreed that that's the new plan, at least for now.
Okay, so here's the thing. Why are the lands in turmoil?
Because of the Shanshan. And the Prophet.
Not east.
The Prophet.
Yeah, east
the
is like the
Prophet,
Prophet,
and
the White Cloaks, and now Perrin. Yep.
And Shanshan too, probably soon.
Yep. Like possibly the Shanshan, but it's like they're still there. But it's like we know why to the east of them is in chaos. Prophet, White Cloaks, and Perrin's coming in.
Right.
So now we got the Shido, Savannah, gonna go get in the mix. Why not? It's a meetup.
No. Okay, so now Galena watches all of this go down, and all of the, like, not-so-subtle threats that all these women are, like, exchanging, and she doesn't quite understand all of it, but then she suddenly realizes that the sky is turning dark and the clouds are rolling in, and then snow starts falling.
Yeah!
And of course, okay, so...
Love it.
The problem with this,
okay,
for me...
Sure.
Isn't that... the weather was corrected, and the cloud bowl did what it was supposed to do, and it just took a little bit of time, and there wasn't just, like, torrential downpour, because it's the middle of winter, so
sure.
If the weather's corrected, it's like cold wind blows in and snow falls. That makes sense, I guess. All of this,
getting there.
All of this just, like, makes logical, sequential sense.
That's good writing. That's what should happen. What's the problem with this?
It is so remarkably uneventful. The entire Cloud Bowl plot.
Yeah. Without...
I mean, the whole thing...
People are going to die,
listen
Danny.
to
Without
me.
that, people will die.
About this situation...
It's going to be casualties.
The actual Cloud Bowl situation was so drawn out...
Sure.
That the only conclusion for me was that there was going to be, like, a dramatic, drastic something.
Yes.
And this is literally the opposite of a big dramatic something.
I just don't think you care enough about the weather.
I literally could not care less about this stupid weather right now. It was just such a lead up to such a letdown that this is by far my least favorite plotline so far.
So it would be better if they used the cloud bowl and then it just starts snowing.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's not realistic. I don't buy that.
No, of course it's not realistic. It's magic.
I buy the magical cloud bowl. I don't buy the immediate snow.
It's magic. It's magic. I've been predicting for so long.
Yeah.
That I really wanted there to be some, like...
You're such a naive.
Unpredictable thing.
Goodness.
And this is just so boring.
Such a naive.
Oh, the cloud just... They roll in and then it just starts... The
Seafolk were right. It's like turning the rudder of a ship. It's going to take time. You got to be patient.
I know. I understand all of it.
It's been like a week.
I understand all of it. Ugh. And I don't want any of it. So, snow is falling. But here's the thing. It's still kind of hot out. So, the snow is melting before it even, like, hits the treetops.
Yep.
But it's still snow. And so... Now, what's really funny about this entire thing that I do appreciate is the Aiel women who are like, what's that? And Galena's like, that's snow. And then I think it's Thorava who's like, oh, that's snow?
Yeah.
Because everyone who fought in the Aiel War... near Tarvalin,
there was snow.
Tons of snow, and they talked about, how difficult it was to fight in the snow and all this stuff. Yep. And they're like, this is what those idiots were complaining about?
I thought they were lying, but it's like, this is it? This is,
This is nothing. Those wimps? Yeah.
It is a really funny point. It's like, that is technically snow, but it's not like snow.
No, not yet.
You haven't seen real snow. Like, wait for the real snow.
And I think that at this point... it will happen.
Yes.
Right? That's the direction we're going, is now it's going to snow for days and days and days and days. And
it's going to correct itself.
Yeah.
It's going to be winter.
Yes. And...
get ready for it.
It's basically like living in Edmonton.
Right.
Where one day it can be lovely and sunny and beautiful, and the next day a blizzard rolls in.
Right.
That is our spring always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That happens.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
But, so here's the thing. Galena wonders if the Great Lord has loosened his grip on the world for some reason, and the Wise Ones all stare at the sky too and demand Galena tell them what's happening. And if she has any idea, But Galena doesn't even really know.
No, she doesn't.
She's like, I guess it's snowing now.
Yep, there
and
you go.
And so Savannah tries to tell everyone that she's leaving, and she'll take Galena to get her into the Geishine robes, but Thrava tells her that they will take care of her since she's the chief and super busy with her chiefly duties.
Right. Yep, it's a switcheroo.
Yes, and Savannah doesn't really fight this, so Galena goes off with Thrava and the other wise ones. Galena tries to tell herself that she's high up in the Red Aja and on some supreme council of the Black Aja.
Yeah.
But they sound like lies in her head, and she thinks, this isn't fair!
It's not fair, guys.
This isn't fair. None of this is fair.
Didn't you hear? Yeah, so things have backfired for Savannah.
Yep.
And Galena's going to have a worse time now.
Yeah.
Now she's under oath.
I actually think that she's going to have a better time.
Really?
I don't think
she didn't want to be under Thrava's care at all, and now she's under oath under Thrava's care.
That's true. But I highly doubt that she is going to be tied up in a sack with burning,
well, that was her own fault. That was
powder.
Her own fault. She slapped a wise one, so, you know.
I want to know why.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can probably picture it, but yeah.
Okay, there we go.
There we go. That's that. That's the end of this chapter.
Good luck. It's going to be a meetup because we got some movement now with the Shido clan here. At least some of them. Moving east. We're heading off in the direction of more people that we know.
That's fair. That's way more interesting than them just holding out in the Mountains of Mist. We've already seen a group hold out in the Mountains of Mist over winter.
That's
and
true.
It was
to be fair, we didn't really. That was like a skipped portion. We skipped it.
We did skip.
We saw them leaving.
But that's the thing, right? Is they were safe there. It was protected. It was isolated. They stayed there for a while without anything eventful happening.
Right.
Until the Trollocs showed up.
Right.
But for the most part, they were there for a long time without anything happening.
Yep.
And here, we want things to happen.
So we got to move.
I want things to happen. Let's get moving in this book. Let's go.
Okay. We'll do it.
And just before we head out, a reminder that next episode will be just chapter 12.
Yep.
We're covering one chapter, and then after that, the following chapter will be chapters 13 and 14 together.
And we're back to two chapters for a while.
Chapters for a while.
So.
Okay.
Okay.
Here we go. Okay, so before you go and kill somebody because you have no idea how to question them, I'm going to say that this is part of the pattern now.
Yeah, it's part of the pattern.
Well, that's the end of another fun episode. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. The Wheel Weaves is hosted by Dani and Brett, edited by Dani, produced by Dani and Brett, with Essen, Passion Socks, Mozyme, Moltude, Benjamin, Michelle O'Brien, Jamie Young, Cody Fouts, Megan Smiley, Jonathan Reese, Margaret, and Charlie Haz. With music by Audionautics. If you are interested in supporting us and the podcast, and also getting some really cool exclusive merch and access to early episodes and bonus episodes, you can check out our Patreon at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. For general information about our show and us, like how to send us shot glasses, how to join our Discord, how to get in touch with us, things like that, for all things The Wheel Weaves, you can go to thewheelweavespodcast.com. Please be sure to give us that 5-star review because it really does make a huge difference. And tell a friend about us because referrals really are the best compliment. Thanks again for listening because this really is part of the pattern now.